Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. This is a video that I'm like super excited to make. I went to MAC this morning to pick up the new Eyes on MAC collection, which is a collection of new eyeshadow palettes. I have 4 brand new x9 palettes, as well as 1 new 15 color palette, which is called In the Flesh, which I am just super excited about. So let's just jump into some swatches because that's what this video is really about. First, I'm gonna just show you each palette and give you the names. So this one is the Solar Glow x9 palette. This one's really beautiful. It kind of looks like it's got some pressed pigments in there, and you've also got some matte shades as well. I think it's really stunning. So we'll get to swatching that in just a bit. And then next up is the one that's on my eyes right now, which is the SemiSweet Times X9 palette. So this one you're gonna see some beautiful matte colors. We got a really pretty like mustardy shade in there. We've got a nice burgundy shade and a black. So this is an amazing palette. It is on my eyes right now. So of course, I was super excited about this one. I couldn't wait to put it on, so I wore it for this video. And then we have the Tropic Cool x9 palette, which is, just like it says, some really pretty tropical, cool tones, some teals, some blues, so really gorgeous. Now these do retail for $32 each, and the In the Flesh palette, which is the 15 pan palette, retails for $65. So here is the Red Hot x9 palette right here. I'm talking, it is bold. It really is like freaking red hot. I'm so excited for this. This is the one that I'll be wearing tomorrow. And then let me show you like the big piece, which is the In the Flesh palette. Here it is. Okay, let me tilt it. And I love the fact that it says In the Flesh like across the front of it. I think that's so pretty. I think that was a great touch. So I'm super excited about this one. So let's get to swatching. All right, let's start with the Cool palette. Let's start with Tropic Cool x9. So there is row number 1. All right, so row number 1 here, row number 1 on my hand. Okay, get my wet wipe and then we'll do row number 2. Oh, this blue is so pretty. Look at that. Hello. Let me go back for a little bit more of that green because my hand is a little bit wet from that wet wipe. So there's row number 2. Focus for you guys. Here we are. Okay. Pretty. Like really pretty. Like look at that. Have mercy. Love it. I'm so excited. I get excited for new x9 palettes because they're so tiny and compact. They fit in your kit so well. They don't take up a ton of space. So there's row number 3 from this baby right here. Okay, next up, let's do the SemiSweet Times X9 palette, which is the one that is on my eyes right now. Let's check this one out. All right, we're gonna start with row number 1. Now this is an all matte palette, which I think a lot of people will like because it'll make it really wearable for work. So there is the top row. Really pretty matte shades, nice and creamy. You've got a nice brow bone highlight, a couple of nice transition shades in there. All right, let's hit this second row, which this second row like gives me life. The texture is really smooth on these. I mean, you can see from the swatching, there's no powder kick up, which is nice because I'm really like rubbing my fingers around in there because I want to see if it's gonna kick up, and it's not, which is making me really happy. And look at that row. I mean, come on, this row is everything. It's beautiful. So pretty. I actually have this shade right here on the bottom on my lids right now, and then the top shade, I have that blended through my crease. All right. And then on to the third and final row of the SemiSweet palette. Here we are, there is row number 3, which I call it the smoky row. So some really nice mattes right there. All right, that's showing up really good. All right, so that's it for the SemiSweet palette. So 2 down, 3 to go. All right, so next up we have the Solar Glow x9. This one's really pretty because like I said, some of these appear like they're pressed pigments, which is gonna give a nice glow. So there is row number 1 from Solar Glow. So you're gonna get a lot of glitz and glitter from this palette. I think these would look great wet or dry, especially these like this that look like pressed pigments. I probably would hit my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus and really get a nice metallic like foiled look going with those. This one right here, the first one in this row, it's a little bit chunky for me. It's a little bit chunky. I definitely would have to Fix Plus that sucker, but the matte, ooh, that matte in the middle is like really smooth and creamy and pretty. But I'm feeling like this one right here is a little bit like dusty to me. I definitely think that one calls for some Fix Plus. Pretty. Very, very pretty. I mean, but if you're accustomed to using glitters and glittery shadows and mixing mediums, probably won't be something that'll be hard for you to deal with. So, there is the third and final row of the Solar Glow palette. Oh, let me rub out that swatch right there in the middle. It looks like my hand was still a little bit wet there, but that's okay. There we go. Now this row right here is outstanding. Beautiful pigment down there on the bottom, looks really metallic and foiled. That would make a gorgeous like cut crease. And even that like almost gunmetal on the top, really, really stunning. Love it. I love the cool tones in here. Next up, we're gonna go to the last X9 palette that I have. There are other X9 palettes in this collection, but they were palettes that were previously released, so I only went for the brand new stuff to show you guys. So here is the Red Hot X9. I would say this one is the most eye-catching. Well, that one in the Tropic palette was really, really eye-catching, I have to say. Like, the Tropic Cool is really eye-catching, but something about like, this row right here just, it grabs, it calls to me. All right, so let's get to swatching this baby. All right, row one, you're up. Perfect. So here is row number one, which is entirely matte. All three shades are matte. I would say they're very nicely pigmented and that they blend out really, really easily. Pretty good color payoff. I think they look really nice. I'm so excited about these. Oh, I love new palettes. Like eyeshadows and lipsticks are like my favorite things to buy from MAC. Now here we are at that second row. And I have to say this second row, that's pretty doggone vibrant. Let that focus. There we go. Check out row number two there. Have mercy. So beautiful. All right, row number two. A row of beautiful, bold, bright mattes. I mean, how gorgeous are these for like transition shades for summertime and spring when you really just want to go extra bold? Oh, look at how pretty. These are great. This palette is a great palette if you like to follow like the different trends. This palette would be great to do warm trend eyes with. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's get down to this final row in this palette. Wowza. This row is some purple for your life. Like, look at that. Great color payoff. Great color payoff. One of my favorite shadows from MAC, Shadowy Lady, is actually in this palette, which I love. It's the middle shade there. I'm obsessed with Shadowy Lady. Like, it totally replaced like carbon for me. I use that instead of black most times when I'm doing a smoky eye because I love it so, so much. I think it looks fantastic, especially with brown eyes. I think it looks great. And it's nice because it's not as harsh as black, but you still get a lot of intensity out of it. So that was the third and final row from the Red Hot X9 palette. Next up, we're going to the big boy. We're going to the In the Flesh palette. Let's get this 15 pan baby out. So here is the In the Flesh palette. I'm super excited about this one. I'm sure you've seen a lot of things on Instagram posted about this baby because a lot of people were waiting for this sucker to come out. Okay, so let's see. My hand isn't that big, but that's all right. We're gonna start with row one. I love like Swatch Fest videos like this. Okay, so this is row one from the In the Flesh palette. I mean, how beautiful is this? It's like just when you feel like no, I'm not gonna buy another neutral palette. Here comes MAC with the In the Flesh palette, and then you break your little word to yourself that you won't buy another neutral palette. Like, forget that, just get it. Here is row number two. There's some gorgeous like metallic shades up at the top, and then you've got three mattes on the bottom. Great brow bone highlights, great transition shades. So pretty. I can see myself, I'm like gonna have to tear myself out of this palette. I was obsessed with my 15 Warm palette, and then now this one's like gonna probably be my new obsession. So there is the third and final row from the 15 palette, the In the Flesh. I mean, when you look at it in the pan, you're like, oh, you know, it's okay, it's a neutral palette, but then when you get to swatching it and you like see the colors, there's some very unique neutral tones in here. There's cools, there's mid-tones. I'm just like, oh, this is my new baby. I think it's well worth the $65. You're getting 15 full-size shadows. And I really love the packaging. I love that it says In the Flesh across the top. I think it's so cute. I mean, look at that. The pigmentation is fantastic on this one. All right, guys, so that is it for the Eyes on MAC collection. I'm so excited to have it. I hope you guys enjoyed these swatches. I hope they were helpful to you so it can kind of narrow down what you want to pick up from the collection. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.